Hello again. I think that most people would agree with me when I say that there really are some unbelievably stupid people on the British political scene today. Certainly there's no shortage of such folk on the right, but the left too seems to be well endowed with prize clots whose opinions leave one gaping either in amusement or horror. My own views tend towards laughter rather than outraged indignation, but that's because I'm going to die soon, and so shall not be around to see the consequences of the idiocy being promoted in some quarters today. I do not like to pillory individuals as a rule. It's not very kind. But every once in a while I feel compelled to make an exception to this general rule. Step forward and take a bow. Clive Lewis, Labour MP for the unfortunate constituency of Norwich South, and as big a fathead as can be found anywhere in Parliament today. This fellow may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. As most viewers will know, Sweden and Hungary are both democracies, which is to say their leaders and governments are voted in by the people, which is a pretty good working definition of democracy, really. Clive Lewis, though, is concerned about the far right, probably because this is fashionable these days rather than because he really cares about it. He is, after all, a politician. In the description to this video, I give a link to a clip of film of this fool speaking to camera and expressing his views and opinions about the far right. He posted it on his public Twitter account, so I think it reasonable to assume that he wants as many people as possible to view it. He says, "In Hungary, in Sweden, we have far-right governments now in place who are doing all they can now to undermine democracy." I hope you all understand that. Democratically elected governments are undermining democracy because their views diverge from those felt by Clive Lewis. He praises Poland and Spain, though, for their democracy because they voted in left-wing governments. That's what democracy means to people like this, the right to support left-wing causes. Anybody or anything which runs counter to that is a threat which must be dealt with. I'm sure that many people will have noticed not so much the rise of the far right, which is still negligible, but rather the rise of the use of the term, which is increasing exponentially day by day. A quick skim through the newspapers will show that a year or two ago the words far right only cropped up every so often, whereas now they're appearing every day in the papers and on the news. This is because the spectre of the far right, which can be linked to fascism of course, provides a handy bogeyman and prevents left-wing people from having to engage with the actual problems facing us. Its association with Hitler and Mussolini enables references to the Second World War and the Nazis to be slipped in very easily. It is in effect an enabler for Godwin's law, allowing one to bring fascism and the Nazis into any political debate on any subject at all. You will see this if you watch that clip of Clive Lewis, as he soon mentions the Second World War and the defeat of fascism. I do not say that this man is the worst offender when it comes to using the far right to his political advantage, nor that he's the most stupid man in Parliament, but with this video he's surely emerging as a front runner in both fields.